So with FREIGHTOSCOPE, it's very easy, very versatile. It doesn't consume you anytime. You can just click on one option and then it will auto-generate for you everything that you will need in a matter of seconds. My name is Genta. I work at International Trans 06, located in Albania. We're a freight forwarder company, and our day-to-day is operations and transportation worldwide. And recently, we have implemented FREIGHTOSCOPE in our day-to-day work, and it has helped us a lot. For a long time, we've operated in shared documents, for example, in an Excel sheet that all of our colleagues share. So it has been pretty much manually worked with, which was okay for a long term, but then we started to think about something that could be more time efficient for us, for example, and could be implemented in a way that can be very easy for all of the colleagues that are actual and new ones. So we found ourselves in FREIGHTOSCOPE, and up until now it has been working great for us.
Well, first of all, how'd you find us and what stood out the most when you first saw the demo or, got on a trial? What really stood out to you guys?
We first heard for FREIGHTOSCOPE in a WCA newsletter, and our manager was very excited about this. We got into it immediately, actually. We loved it. Since the first time, since the demo, we were very, very impressed by it. I was very impressed on how detailed it was. So everything that we work with and everything that we put in manually, all the data was there, and we could just log it and it would automatically make sure that everything was in place all the time. So that was something that very interested us. For example, my role in the company, it's more on the finance area. So for me, invoices and generating new invoices and keeping them in check was very important. So we did that manually all the time, which was very time consuming. And then once we found FREIGHTOSCOPE and that we could generate the invoices immediately with all the costs that we previously put in, it was amazing. And that's what we did. And it really stood out for us, and it changed a lot on our day-to-day operations.
You mentioned invoicing. Is there any other part of the FMS that has been like a real game changer, maybe across different teams, or something you feel is like unique?
Yes. For us, quotation process was very, very helpful. Our sales team that works with that all the time was very impressed by the way that we did our quotations and that we moved from a quotation to a new booking immediately. So that was something that was very needed for us. We could implement it with all of our coworkers in the same time. So, for example, if I want to issue an invoice, I can see what my colleague is working up, and then from there we can go to a new booking, and then from the operations we can go to the finance department immediately. For us, for example, quoting for different aspects of logistics was very important because we have air shipments, we have sea shipments, we have land shipments, and for all of them there are some specifics in the remark section that we need to put all the time. We can now just put them firstly with the way that we manage the system, and it will auto-generate for each quotation as we want it to be. So that was a very unique feature that we loved as a team.
So another thing that I'm curious about is, and that we learned from a lot of our clients, is the start of the journey to find a full freight management system. There's many different factors that different forwarders are kind of looking for. From your perspective, let's say you're speaking to a forwarder who's in that same starting point as you guys were. What are the 3 pillars that you guys would say to prioritize that FREIGHTOSCOPE kind of filled that gap for you?
Firstly, it was cost efficient, which is something important, I think, to every company in general. The second one is time efficiency, because in freight, as everyone knows, there's an urgency to every operation. So there is actually no time for you to go and manually take care of all the processes. So with FREIGHTOSCOPE, it's very easy. It doesn't consume you any time. You can just click on one option and then it will auto-generate for you everything that you will need in a matter of seconds. The last one, which for our company is very valued, is that it's very versatile as a program. For our new colleagues, it has been very, very helpful to learn more about freight and to learn more about how we operate on our day-to-day. So for us, that has been very important pillar, let's say.
I want to ask you about our team. How has our support been? What has that experience looked like?
I'm very excited that you asked me that actually, because we've had a very, very positive experience with the FREIGHTOSCOPE team. I remember the first day that we started the implementation, and we had like a Zoom meetings where a colleague was explaining all in detail everything on how to use it, how to create shipments. We learned so much, to be completely honest, from that period of 1 week that we did the trainings, that we haven't even had any need to open the Scope IQ, I think it's called.
Scope IQ, yeah.
Yeah. Our new colleague actually is working with that and has found it extremely helpful. The training was amazing. We learned everything about it and we started implementing immediately from that. So we are very impressed with the FREIGHTOSCOPE team. We've had an amazing service from them, and I have to say they're always very kind and very helpful. It feels like we're speaking to a friend, to be honest.
Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate your time.
It was a pleasure to talk to you, and it felt like we're meeting personally.
Exactly. I love that.